Welcome, Dr. Toni Coaches. I am your local psychotherapist in the state of Pennsylvania, branched out into life advising for the busy, the ambitious. This means if you are someone who cares about your success, you care about your drive and your impact, and you also don't want to have to sacrifice yourself, your health, your relationships, and what matters most to you in order to continue to be driven, be successful, and make that impact than you want to make, then I am the coach for you. I am the life advisor for you, and I'm glad you're here today. I want to talk about one of the top things that I keep hearing from busy professionals, especially lately, about time. This challenge with time, how they're spending their time or unable to spend their time, or how there's just not enough of it. I hear things like, I just don't have enough time, or time feels super warped, or it feels like there's no time for me. I just don't have any time for myself whatsoever, or there's so much to do, or I've got to make up for lost time or lost wages, especially for those that have been heavily impacted by COVID, or I'm too busy. And so as a result, they tend to feel overwhelmed. So overwhelmed might sound something like, I can't get it all done, or tired. Often there's this sense of I'm exhausted, right? Restless. So saying things like my sleep is really messed up, or I'm not sleeping well, or foggy brains. And for that, you might hear like, I'm so sorry, I can't keep things straight, or I can't think straight, right? And so the time issue creates more issues, and those more issues actually feed off of one another and create more time issues. This creates more stress. It stretches people thinner and thinner. And so the question really is, what can they do about it? Can anything be done about it? Well, what would you say? Have you asked maybe if something can be done about it? If you can relate to any of this? Is it even possible to push this reset button? Wouldn't you love to have a reset button that could help them to recalibrate so that they can feel less stressed, so they can feel more clear-minded and be able to maximize their time and feel more energetic, more present? Is it possible? Now, there can be a lot of resistance about this kind of concept of a personal reset button that we could push, especially in this modern day hustle and bustle of a life where we're so used to focusing on productivity, on outcomes, on efficiency. On one hand, if we think about having a personal reset button that we could push to feel better, to have less stress, well, on one hand, taking time to engage in a more personal reset can feel like it's not productive, or it's an ineffective or just not very sufficient use of our time, right? Because it's not focused on being productive or efficient in some way. It's focused on resetting yourself personally, and therefore that's not really the best use of time. Or others, at the same time could think, this idea of a personal reset button sounds really good. Sounds really appealing. It sounds like a quick fix that would be ideal for many busy professionals. Let me hear more. Right? And so different people might have different thoughts about this, might have different resistance about, I want this thing, this is what's going on with me. I'm feeling like there's not enough time. I want there to be more time. If only there could be a reset button, right? Well, what if I told you there is a personal reset button, and it can help lessen chronic stress or overwhelm, and it can help with those pesky time issues that so many people report having to deal with so frequently? What comes up for you? What do you think? Do you have any resistance, questions, beliefs? What comes up for you? Some people might not want to get their hopes up about having this potential chance to reset with themselves for themselves. With all the gimmicks that are out there, it's fair to be skeptical about something that seems kind of too good to be true. Others might be curious, but assume, hey, like it might work for others, but it's not going to work for me. I've tried stuff, been there, done that. It's not going to work for me. Yet others might view this idea of a reset when things are feeling a bit maybe out of control or a lot out of control as just an additional thing, this unnecessary distraction, this add-on that's just not going to help. It's going to distract them from their goals and this responsibilities and or their list of to-dos, and so they're not interested. There's so many things that can come up here. There are a variety of other reasons someone might experience resistance about a potential opportunity to hit their very own reset button. And you know what? That's okay. It's okay. Whatever comes up for you or someone else, it's okay. It's human to wonder if something could or would work for you, or whether it's something that's even possible or worthy of your time and money investment. I know years ago for me, when I was in burnout, I thought I have all those thoughts. I had all of those thoughts about skepticism. I thought that what worked for me would not be the same as what worked for others. So it didn't really matter if it worked for others because it probably wasn't going to work for me. I thought everything that said that it would work was just some gimmick. And I thought it was a waste of time and a wasted financial investment to invest my hard-earned resources into my own like self or health or desires. It just didn't seem to be super productive. But burnout was a bumpy and a windy road for me. And one of the things I learned was that I had to get really intentional about deciding that I wanted to experience a change in my life, that I no more wanted to be in that burnout place and I wanted to have something different in my life. Now, maybe for you, maybe you're not in burnout. Maybe you want to prevent burnout. Maybe you are in burnout and you want to get out of burnout. Whatever it is for you, I know for me, once I realized that and I was like, yes, like I don't want this to be the life I keep living. I need some change. I want things to be different. Once I did that, regardless of what support or service or program that I used to help me, I realized that I needed to believe enough in myself that I would follow through with my commitment to me, whatever it was I chose, whether it was a certain support or a certain service or a certain program. I needed to believe in me that I'd follow through with my commitment to me. I wanted a reset in my life and I needed to commit to claiming it. And so maybe you can relate in some way, your own variation of this. Perhaps are areas or a particular area in your life that you want to see improvement in. Maybe that's time management, maybe it's stress management, maybe it's relationship or communication. Whatever it is, you'll need to decide that you actually want different. And then, regardless of whatever support or service or program that you choose to help you need to fan the flame of your belief within yourself. Believe that you can and do deserve it. You can and do deserve different. That change is possible for you. It can happen for you. Maybe, like me, you're in need of a personal reset button. I was definitely in need of a personal reset button back then when I was in burnout. And the truth is, there's not an actual tangible reset button like the signature Staples easy button that you could like buy online or in stores. There's not that, okay? There is, however, the opportunity to hit your own figurative reset button internally. And it can reduce stress and it results in maximized time and energy and clarity. And it's not an actual button that you can just push and all is well. But it is a fairly simple yet powerful process that you can do on your own in as little as 15 minutes a day. How do I know? Well, throughout the more than a decade of my experience as a therapist, a working mom, and more recently a life coach, I've learned some things about what gets in the way of people being able to feel more satisfied with their day-to-day life. And these past few years, I've decided to get super intentional, even more intentional than I was before, about what had gotten in my own way for my own life satisfaction and my own health and my own happiness along my own journey, especially about my past experiences with burnout. And so recently, as I've reflected upon my own personal experiences as well as my own professional experiences, I was reminded of how powerful our life stories truly are and can be when we share our stories with one another. I was reminded of how powerful that can be. And a case in point for that is I have recently published a book with several other co-authors. I shared in this book in a very raw fashion, differently than I've ever shared with this amount of public before, an intimate part of my own journey in this book. Sharing that part of my story was such a powerful experience. It's called The Ultimate Guide to Self-Care. I'll put the link there if you want to pre-order it. It officially launches in November. But as I read the advanced reviews of this book and of my story in particular that I shared, and I received feedback from the other authors about how touched they were by my story, I was reminded again of how powerful stories truly can be. That me choosing to get real and raw and share that intimate part of my story with others actually empowered, inspired, and connected with others' stories in their lives as well. I just was moved. And so, for example, maybe you can relate to this. If you've ever viewed someone in a certain way And then you later found out more about their personal story. And then finding that out completely changed your view of them. As a result, you started maybe having a different attitude towards them, or your behavior towards them shifted. Super powerful, right? Just by finding out a little bit more about their story. It shifted how you viewed them, how you with them, how your attitude was toward them, right? That's the power of our own personal stories. So I wanted to bring that to life more as I was thinking about how to support people with creating a reset button that actually worked. And this power of our stories is so often overlooked, but it's so powerful. So the culmination of all of this served as a catalyst for my development of a powerful, one-of-a-kind 8-week reset course that actually allows other busy professionals, perhaps like you, to learn how to hit their own reset button. And it's derived from me extracting core components of my own reset journey when I had to hit my own reset button back when I was in burnout. And I married that with current research and my professional experience to provide a unique, self-paced guide to hitting your very own reset button through a process that takes as little as 15 minutes per day. So no, there's not a physical reset button that is going to be gifted to you that can change things, like give you the gift of time or eliminate all stressors. No, me, no one else. No, that's not available to gift anyone, okay? Let's be real. But there is now a step-by-step guide that can help fellow busy professionals like yourself, like I was, to hit their own reset buttons in a personalized way using a simply structured course that's conveniently sent to their inbox each day. If you would like to engage with this, if you would like to learn how to hit your reset button like I had to hit years ago, so that you can gain more clarity, more time, and maximize your time in a way that actually feels good to you, then you can actually click the link and you can find out more about it and see if it's right for you. And if it is, go for it. I would love to hear from you. All right. And so what I want to ask you is, do you have a part or parts in your life that you would like to hit the reset button in? And if you do, what does that mean to you? What does that mean to you and your life to hit a reset button in a certain area or areas of your life? What does that mean to you? And what does that mean for your life story? Maybe you might want to ask yourself those questions. And if you're interested in finding out more about the reset and how it can help you, go ahead and click the link. I would love to support you. All right, y'all, until next time, have a wonderful day.